The brave heart of Samuel. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Samuel. Samuel was kind-hearted, smart, and always tried his best at school. But lately, he had been feeling sad. Some of the other children at school would tease him, call him names, and make fun of him. Samuel didn't understand why they were being so unkind, and each day, he would feel a little more alone. One evening, after a long day at school, Samuel sat at the dinner table, staring down at his food. His dad, noticing the sadness in Samuel's eyes, gently placed a hand on his shoulder. "Hey, buddy, what's bothering you?" his dad asked softly. Samuel sighed, not sure how to explain, but finally said, "Some kids at school keep teasing me, Dad. They say I'm too small or not good enough. It hurts, and I don't know what to do." His dad looked at him with understanding and said, "I'm so sorry to hear that, Samuel. But you know, when you're feeling small or unimportant, you're not alone. God has always been with people who felt the same way. Let me tell you a story from the Bible that might help you." Samuel looked up, curious, as his dad began to tell him the story of David and Goliath. "Long ago," his dad said, "there was a young boy named David. He was just a shepherd, a small boy, but he had faith in God. One day, the people of Israel were afraid because a giant named Goliath was challenging them. Everyone was scared of Goliath because he was huge and strong. But David believed that with God on his side, he could do anything." Samuel listened intently as his dad continued. David was much smaller than Goliath, but he trusted in God's strength. With only a small stone and a slingshot, he faced the giant, and with God's help, he defeated him. David didn't let his size or the fear of others stop him. He knew that God was with him, and that made him brave. Samuel's eyes grew wide as he imagined the story. So, David was small, just like me, and he still did something huge. "Exactly," said his dad, smiling. "David showed us that no matter how small or weak we feel, when we trust in God, we can do great things. God doesn't look at how big we are. He looks at the strength in our hearts. And God gives us the courage to stand strong, even when others might try to put us down." Samuel sat quietly, thinking about the story. He felt a little stronger inside, as if the weight on his shoulders was starting to lift. "Remember, Samuel," his dad continued, "God made you just the way you are. You don't need to change to be loved or accepted. When you're kind, when you stand up for what's right, and when you trust in God, you have the heart of a giant, just like David." That night, Samuel went to bed with a little more peace in his heart. The next day at school, when the bullies tried to tease him, Samuel remembered the story of David. He stood tall and walked away, with his head held high, knowing that God was with him, just like he was with David. And as Samuel grew older, he always remembered that his true strength came from God, and no matter what, he was never alone. No matter how small or weak we feel, with God's strength, we can be brave and face any challenge